When winterising your bike, one thing you must take into account is the state of your gear. So that includes things like gloves, helmets, boots, and indeed any textiles, jackets particularly, like this one, or this one, and there's a third one under there. Most of the jackets, etc., I'm going to take in for the winter. Just keep one available, and when I say take in, they're going to go away in the cupboard somewhere where it's dry. I will check them before spring, but now is a good time to check everything for signs of mould, breakages, etc. You know, are zips working? Because there's nothing worse when trying to get started again in the spring and finding out that you can't zip up your jacket. Now, that's nothing to do with eating too much Christmas pudding over the winter time. It's just a fact of life, especially here in Cornwall, where it gets very cold and damp. Certainly damp, not as cold as up country, but there is no getting away from it. Now, some things, like these gloves, will be okay if they're put in sealed plastic boxes, ideally within zip-locked envelopes, but certainly out of the direct damp. Other things, the boots, I think they'll be better indoors. Helmets, all I'm going to do with them for now is a light clean, and for that I'm going to use this stuff, which is basically Screenwash mixture, and which I think is the same as the expensive stuff you buy in bike shops that cost, you know, £5 for a tiny file. This does exactly the same. Now, of course, you may also wish to take out and wash the internal liners, cheek pads, etc. I think that's going to be a case for the spring here. Bear in mind, both of my helmets here pretty well old, so I'm looking at replacement Insta mounting stuff. Put that away for the winter. May well have a better mount system by the spring. So a bit more of a clean of this, and then it goes in its drawstring pouch. That's one helmet. Let's get on with the next. I'll catch you up in a bit. 1, 2, 3. Right, that's helmets cleaned, put away in their protective sacks. They're going to get put away in the plastic boxes. You can see that one, similar to that, with periodic inspections over the winter when I'm out here fiddling around with stuff. So, leather goods. These are probably the most easily degradable over winter. Leather, I'm sure you're aware, performs best when it's kept in use. So here we've got 2 sets of gloves. There is another set of gloves which is already away safely. These are very old ones, but they're still serviceable for summer use. So I'm going to do them first, and then my rather nice Daytona Sport Max boots. 1, 2, 3. Right, so I'm going to use this product, Dasco Dubbin. Hopefully you can read that, and basically wipe clean. So I've already done that, and I'm just going to add a light coat to all the various leather surfaces just to give them a bit of protection and suppleness to last the winter. As I said, these are very old, but they still work, and they're ideal for summer. Very lightweight. I can stick on my my heated grips, so I can still wear lightweight gloves even in cool conditions, which makes riding the bike more pleasant in actual fact from my point of view. I find nothing worse than thick clumsy gloves that make it a pain to do things. So I'm not going to be overly diligent with this. I'm just giving them a bit of a going over. Let's do it a bit more on these tips where there's running quite thin. But yes, that's one glove. Okay, you get the picture. Right, catch up with you in a minute when I've done these. Before, after. Right, boots next. Now these, as I probably said, are good quality boots, so they're designed to last, but even good quality boots get scuffed and mucky, so I have done them quite recently, so they shouldn't be too bad. Yes, let's get them protected so they can be brought out in the spring without any concerns due to hard leather or mould, cracking, all that sort of thing. Okay, so let's do a before and after. So on the left, before; on the right, after. I hope that works. Was it on the left is after, and on the right is before? I think that is the case. Right, let's do the second one. Right, 2 boots done. So they're ready to go away. And I think these are going to come indoors. So, gloves done, helmet's done, boots done, and jackets all ready to go indoors. Waterproof cotton jacket here, Merlin jacket. I'm going to keep to hand because I may need it for test riding purposes over the winter. Now then, you may have noticed that some of my gear is looking a bit old, helmets and so forth. So I've very recently acquired the ability to accept a super thanks. So that's something you could really help me with by not only liking, subscribing and commenting, but a little bit of money into the super thanks tin goes back into buying things that I will need to carry on vlogging and doing the stuff that I'm doing. Heck, there needs to be somebody clumsy running a vlog, otherwise it just all seems too easy, doesn't it? Okay, so that's the textiles dealt with. One final thing, again, things you may overlook. So, for example, I found this Allen key tucked away in one of my pockets. So that needs to go back where it came from. So replacing things that are loose or astray may save you a lot of looking next spring. So you may use various little locks for things. I've got this little one as a helmet lock. So the first question is, have I got the key? The second question is, does the lock actually work? Because there's nothing worse than you get to spring and you go to use your lock and you find that it's rusted solid. So that is working. As a precaution, I'm going to pop a little bit of WD-40 in there. So ensure that stays working through. One thing done. Next thing is the disc lock and the springy cable, without which they are useless because you'll always ride off with them on. Similar process. Check to see they're nice and free. Drop of WD-40 in. There's a bit of insurance, not insulation. So that locks and unlocks nice and smoothly. Chocks away. And probably a good idea for these sort of things is to pop them in a box or a plastic container. This one is an old ice cream container, very handy for the purpose, and that probably also applies to the mount here for the Insta. Just a little drop of WD-40. Again, these are all mainly plastic, so these can all go away, and I'll get a lid for this, and then that can be safely stowed for the winter time.